Today on Drawbli, we are drawing
gestures.
Click that subscribe button if you're new around here.
And comment below with other art ideas and challenges and exercises for us to accomplish in the future.
This is it. This is the big hype
We
episode.
have been so excited to do this one.
Yeah.
5 minutes per pose.
I think there's 12 of them.
Very strict, yes. And we draw the same poses. Oh, did you reverse all of yours?
I flipped my canvas
Nice.
multiple times. So
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So I sent you the file with all the images, the reference images in it after I was done. So the canvas might have started flipped for you.
Oh, I didn't do a single flip.
Whoa!
No.
Are you serious?
I never, not for this. I love how you had one, I mean, this is how you're supposed to do it. I feel like one line to follow the flow of the whole girl and piece. I like that.
That's how I started. Yeah. With that, but. I really struggled with gestures in general. I'm definitely better at it now than I was when we started.
Yeah, you can only get better, right? You can get worse, but really, I mean, I think you'd be getting better. I'm not a pro at them at all, but I really enjoyed this challenge.
So yeah, we spent 5 minutes on each of these, which for me is just, it's really tough. I thought oh man. So the way I did most of these, not all of them, but most of them is I started off by drawing the structure first, and then I went back over top of that and gave it more gestural flow. Because if I don't do that initially, and we're already on to the second one, if I don't do that initially, I will not get any of the proportions correct. I will just be such a mess.
The proportions are difficult. What I love about digital is that, unlike paper, if I find I've drawn the leg too big and then it's going to make the rest of the drawing go off the page, I can just scale it down.
I always start it too big.
It's like a superpower, and I, on paper, ran into that problem so many times, so I'm really glad to be able to just scale it down.
So you are, just watching you are so good at just creating some quick, flowing lines that just work and represent that shape. And I'm just so tiny, so small with my lines. How do you do it?
Well, I did see a video recently that suggested looking at a figure when you're going to do gesture drawing and trying to figure out where most of the energy of that person is going to in that pose. Maybe where are they putting the most muscle tension, or where is the most expression coming from? And that's where you really want to dig into your lines and make them a little thicker.
I do remember you talking about this.
Yeah, I don't think that's really represented in this particular image, or maybe even any of mine, but I bore that in mind, and I tried to emulate it a little bit. But it was so fun. I chose a charcoal brush for this piece because I love that's what I would use on paper if I was going to do gesture drawing. I would definitely want charcoal, where you can go thick to thin very easily, very sketchy. I love the curve you chose there to start this pose. I love the way you got
I kind of like this one. There are definitely some things on it, if I could go back, I would change, but that kind of defeats the purpose, I guess, of it. But I thought this one was kind of fun.
Yeah, no, this one was actually harder for me, probably because I started with just one leg that's kind of not the focus, and had to roughen everything around that. I now looking at how you did it, I wish I'd done it that way, because yours looks very graceful.
Yeah, I'm trying to capture the gesture, even though I create short staccato lines for the way I'm sketching here, and that's just kind of poorly how I sketch right now. I'm still trying to capture that.
No,
overall
you
sense.
Absolutely have it. This one is very good. I really like what you've done here.
Yeah, this is definitely one of my better ones, I would say. But then I go back in over top of that, and I try to get even more flow out of my lines.
Oh no!
So I try to push that idea even more.
No, you should be very proud of that one.
My butt ends up a little weird here. But hey, that's the butt you get.
Mine is definitely imperfect. This one I really struggled with, and not all of them are gonna have imperfections big time.
Well, yours is so cool. Yours was still very cool.
Well, thank you.
And we'll definitely show them all at the end together as well. I know we're going really quick here, but there are so many of them that we have to get through. So
hurry.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them.
But it's so interesting to see the difference in how we both tackle this.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that you don't block
in the
whole
armature.
not armature, but just like the whole pose. Like that's in my mind what you're supposed to do with a gesture drawing. You're supposed to get the flow of it all.
In my mind, I'm getting the flow, but I'm getting the flow limb by limb. Like each limb to me has its own gesture. Like look at the calf on the base here. I'm trying to, like, I don't know how to describe it.
No, you've created really good shapes there. And much better than mine. I'm just trying to like get the whole flow together, like the bigger
Which
picture.
I want that too, I do. But I'm also in my head, I think I told myself too much, like find where the energy is. And I'm like, oh, she's got all that tension in that leg that's holding up her whole pose. So I'm going to start there and then add the rest. I think the way we both have gone about this is really effective.
You still create, like, look at the flowy lines that you make in your hair. Like, I don't even do the hair. I'm like, nah, I ain't got time for that.
No. Yeah, just a little quick representation to add to her whole form and figure. Yeah, and I feel like, it's still flowy-esque, gestural-esque. But I like what you're doing here because you're definitely capturing the whole spirit of the...
This is one that I did go very gestural on and very quick.
Yeah.
And you will see.
This is one of my favorite poses from the whole thing.
Yeah, he's just an interesting guy.
Yeah, I know.
He's fun.
And his pose is interesting too.
Yeah, it's got some very strong perspective in it. So this one I kept honestly, this might be my favorite one just because of how messy I was with it.
Yeah, I think that's why I like mine too. It felt very messy, but it still felt like it worked. And I like that you felt the same way about yours. And I almost gave him a little face too, which I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, in hindsight, I'm like, oh, little faces for all of them is really fun.
Gotta give him little faces.
Yeah. Oh, look at yours. That's so fun to watch because I have not seen any of yours played back yet.
Yeah, neither have I. I haven't seen any of yours. Yours are really fun to watch as well.
Thanks.
Your guy's arm is looking choice, getting some cool shapes in there.
Thank you.
That backhand was definitely a struggle.
Look at your guy's front leg. That looks so nice. So clean.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's something.
Yeah, and that back arm, that little, if you look at it just as a shape on the screen, it's just a tiny little and you're like, oh.
It is like nothing.
That's how perspective do, I guess.
Yeah. I love his face that you gave him.
Yeah.
His hair is crazy, by the way.
I feel like, is this guy in a lot of the gestures references that you chose? Because I feel like we draw him multiple times.
No, I don't think so. I think that's the only time he's in it.
Yeah. This guy, I got my
guy's in here a
all
couple
wackadoo
times.
on. Yeah.
All wackadoo?
Yeah.
I like how we're mirrored right here, left and right.
Oh, yeah. I know. That's so fun.
Yeah.
That was a good stylistic choice for our channel.
Well, I flip my canvas on every single one of these. Or at least I should. Did you struggle with this one, you were saying?
Yeah. I think, what would I do differently in hindsight? Probably the whole line of the whole flow of the body should have been what I did here, but I didn't. And that's where that would have helped me on this one probably a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest, I struggled with every single one, but for different reasons. They were just all very challenging.
Yeah, they were very challenging, but very, very fun to work on.
Honestly, the flow of this pose was kind of hard to find because he is very, very off balance. His arms positioned that way are the only thing keeping him from falling over.
Yeah, I mean, that could have been an action shot here. He's not standing in that pose. Maybe he's coming down and they just caught that moment. It's quite a pose.
Yeah.
I would not be able to hold it for any length of time.
Yeah, I tried to find a variety of, somewhat interesting poses.
Yeah, I like that you did all the legwork for finding the reference images for us. That made this so fun and easy for me. I just got to go bloop, bloop, bloop and draw a bunch of images.
You just got the bloop, 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 and I had the go.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a lot more work.
It was a lot more work.
More sound effects for sure.
More sound effects. More Foley work.
Do you find it's easier to do gesture drawings of men or women?
Oh, maybe men.
I think
don't
so.
know.
But only slightly.
Yeah. Only slightly. I feel like, well, I will say, I feel like my gesture drawings of men turned out better than my gesture drawings of women. My very
so
first,
maybe there's our answer.
Yeah, my very first and very last pose were my least favorites that I did, and those were both women in very graceful poses that for whatever reason I just kind of struggled with. But no, I thought the men in the end were a lot more fun to draw. But we draw a lot more men in this challenge than women, actually.
Yeah, I wasn't actually paying attention to how many, of each I grabbed, but I wanted to make sure that I grabbed a variety of different poses. I didn't want to get like a bunch of ballet poses that looked identical.
Right.
Because honestly, when you Google search gesture drawing like reference, it's 90% like ballet.
Oh, I'm
like,
sure.
It's a lot of the same
This
stuff.
is one of my favorite poses that we drew, actually.
Yeah.
This punching guy.
Yeah, you got some shading on yours. So, hey, you went the extra mile on this one.
I decided that was part of it all.
Gonna crush this. Gestural
Oh, look
shading.
at you with your shading. You got some shadow on him.
Oh, I just did some ground shadow.
Yeah. No, he looks really good, though. Yours looks excellent here.
It's very messy, very something.
That's how I do.
That is how it do.
Yeah.
Yours, I love the charcoal brush. I love that. I should have gone charcoal.
Why didn't I?
Mine would have been so much better if I would have done charcoal.
Mine would have been better if I'd done the whole line of the whole body instead of just blocking in limb by limb. Probably.
I don't know. I think you do a good job of capturing the gesture still.
Thank you.
I think this is the same
pose
guy
is
from
wild.
earlier.
Yeah, I think so. That hair, you can't forget that hair.
No,
What
absolutely
am I?
not.
Oh, this one I started with his shorts, like as a sound, like somewhere to go from, a landmark, I guess, because he's all over the place here.
It is a
and
very
it was really
strong
hard
pose.
to capture. Yeah, proportionally.
Yeah, so my strategy was to start with some structure. I mean, with these, the whole point is that they are 5 minutes each. So we can only focus on the big strokes, which is what a gesture drawing is. So I really tried hard to get in some quick structure with each of these just to help me figure out some of the proportions. But I mean, it's just you don't have very much time at all to really even do that. So I try to do that very quick, and I don't know if that really in the end helped me out. I felt like for some of them it did, for some of them it might have made things go a little slower than they needed to, but I really struggle, like I've said multiple times, with gesture drawing.
Yeah. About a year ago or so, an artist friend of mine invited me to an online gesture drawing group that I never got to partake in because literally a month after I joined, the group had to disband for some reason. I don't remember why. I think they had moved online because of COVID and it just fell apart. But I liked how they had it set up where they would start. They had models that would pose for the gestures, and it would start with 2-minute, 3-minute poses. And gradually throughout the course of the evening, the poses would get longer. So you'd have kind of that warm up time, and then by the end, time to really solidify one and really get some detail in.
Oh yeah, I mean, I actually really like the short timer because I think I can often get tunnel vision on some specific things that probably don't matter as much as the overall feel. And the big picture is honestly, in my opinion, what not just I need to focus on, but you too, what everybody needs to focus on. It's what I always preach when I'm talking about, sculpting. It's all about the basic primary shapes, like the silhouette, making sure that is either as accurate, if that's what you're going for, or as clean in terms of representing what you're going for as possible. And that is not something that you are going to get from details. That is something you're going to get just from big initial primary shapes.
And honestly, this exercise could not have come at a better time for me because I feel like this is the direction I need to go next time we do character work, or really kind of any work, is make myself block something in quickly. Stop going from little detail to detail to detail. See what I can do in 5 minutes and expand on it from there.
And that might be partially my fault though, because if you remember the first Wow, yours looks so good compared to mine. Mine looks so crap. If you remember the first time we did you saw me do the lasso tool. Like I
bit by bit by bit by
worked
bit.
on bit by bit,
Yeah.
and you might have kind of internalized that. If you see one workflow, like sometimes people can get locked into that idea, like, oh, this is the way you do this, or this is the way you use this tool. But just, a tool is not a workflow. A tool is just exactly that. It's meant to, be used in a million different ways for a million different workflows.
Oh, your line you created for this is excellent. Look at that. Just like, whoosh.
His arms.
The sea. I know his arms. He's kind of wee little.
This is definitely a wee pose. Man, the perspective, like the twisting of the torso here was actually very difficult.
Yeah, I tried to block that in with some shading a little bit later on. But yeah, this was a tough one. They're all tough, but they became more and more fun. I think the only one I was like, oh, this one isn't as fun, is the very last one where it's a ballerina pose. And now I'm so grateful that you went through and got all the reference images, and they're all these super crazy fun poses.
Yeah, I don't remember how much I struggled with the last one, but I told you this. This is the hardest thing I've done on Drawbli,
Yeah,
by
that's what
far
she
for
said.
me. Like, this was so hard for me.
I wonder what that says about both of us, where this is one of the most fun things I've done on Drawbli.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you like playing around with these big flowy lines. I don't know. This was just very, very difficult for me.
Well, cafe was so difficult for me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Everybody's different.
Everybody's different. So interesting, though.
You got the butt in there. That's what really
Gotta
matters.
get that cake.
Gotta get the cake?
That birthday cake.
Wow, I didn't know.
You didn't know. I didn't know.
Do you think that we could do all of these poses?
No.
I think for our next time we do gesture drawings, let's take photos of ourselves in like absolutely ridiculous poses. This was my favorite one, actually.
This one I really enjoyed, and look, I actually did the whole body flow line for this one.
There you
just
go.
Like you.
Look at that. And look how flowy yours are. Like immediately. Look at that. Look at that beautiful flow.
Yes. I like this pose.
So I start out, of course, with some structure, just like marking some quick placements with some quick circles, and I'm like, you're up. That's where the things are. And then I do a quick...
You stretch them.
Yeah, because
I love it.
I need to get the this is how my brain...
This one was difficult to get the proportions right. I do remember that I actually erased part of his head and his arm here, and I scribbled them in to try to get some material on the page, and then scribbled some stuff back out with the eraser. Because it was hard. It was a tough pose.
If somebody has some strategies for make my brain not work like this, then please tell. Because this is how I do. This is the only way I can do these.
Other than repetition.
Yeah. Like, because if I start off with flowy lines, it looks absurdly bad.
They just go no matter somewhere, and there's no stopping them from flowing to wherever they want to flow to.
Exactly. Like, I'd have to sit there and redraw the same line like 10 times. It's because I didn't use charcoal, honestly. Like, I'm looking back and I'm like...
Didn't you know that choosing the right brush makes you a better artist?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Really, that's the secret to good art. You gotta buy more Procreate brushes.
Exactly. We're going to be actually listing our Drawbli brushes here very soon. They're all the default Procreate brushes, but we changed the name on them.
This is the second to last pose, and
this one's
is
cool.
a really good one.
Yeah, I like this one a lot.
I gave him a little face too, which was fun. Oh, look at you drawing over the character to see the flow of his body.
I actually do that on every single one.
Oh, I just noticed that because they're so fast.
Yeah, they are very quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I start by doing that just to make sure that I'm understanding like where the line is going, and then get in there with some structure, then the flow. But you just like
I choose a limb and go from there.
Yeah, is there any like rhyme or reason to which limb you start with?
Well, in this case, I decided to start with like the most complex looking limb, and that was that arm for me. And the way it goes into his shoulder. So that there is some rhyme or reason. It's wherever I think I see the most complexity and energy, but who knows where that actually is. And then
I would say that the energy for this pose is that backhand, right? Because
for sure. Or his leg,
he's about to throw
where
the
he's
fist.
got all this weight on each leg. or his core.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
twisted up really
do
tight.
you like the face I gave him?
Yes, I love the face. This is by far the best drawing out of all these. That's actually, that's thumbnail worthy right there. That's beautiful. I hope you don't erase that. You better keep that.
I don't. There's not much erasing in this
Our
challenge.
two guys are going to be facing each other about to throw blows.
Throw blows at each other, yes.
That face is amazing. I'll give my guy a little face too. Later.
Okay, good. For the thumbnail?
Yeah.
You gotta dress him up for the thumbnail.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful face. I see you give him some hair on the chest as well.
I did not do that intentionally. Those are just scribbles. I don't think the model has hair on his chest.
Well, he does now in your drawing.
Okay, last one. And this one, I did not particularly knock this one out of the park.
No?
No.
I don't remember this one. I don't think I did, incredible on really any of them. But hey, it's the last one. We made it. I remember at this point I was like, please God, just like let me get this done.
I was just having such a great time.
You're just over there.
I know, happy music in my head. You're just like struggling like with heavy metal. If that was a TikTok, it would bounce between like happy music and metal music.
Pain, so much pain.
All of this one was really hard, and I wasn't like super happy with how it turned out, but whatever.
What about this one is difficult?
Her legs.
What about them?
I just struggled with her legs, getting the proportions right with each other in context of how they interacted with each other.
Maybe it's because that her right leg, that knee is coming forward. That could potentially warp the proportions.
I didn't pick up on that. Yeah.
It's coming toward us slightly. It's at like a 45, maybe slightly more.
And I think I made her one straight leg too short in proportion to the rest of her body, it looks like. I don't know. She's just a little wonky. That's okay, though. That's okay. Yours is looking really nice and clean, though. I like that.
Yeah, one thing we could try to do is maybe exaggerate like the perspective of these a little. That might be kind of cool for, in the future if we ever do this again, which I'm sure we will.
We have to. This was too much fun not to repeat.
Yeah, okay, like looking back, it's very fun to watch, but in the moment, it was like sweat pouring down the brow.
That is hilarious. You poor thing. You did a good job, though.
Thank you. Yeah, I actually liked the last one. It's not I don't think it's my best one, but it wasn't horrible. And there is all of our gesture drawings at the same time.
It's so fun to see them all on the same page.
Yeah, I think this is just really cool to look at all of them.
Yeah, I love this. And you put these all on the same page for us. Thank you for your brilliant photoshopping.
Yes. Oh my gosh, so much work was taken here to do this.
I was telling you, I was like, I can put them all on the same page on the iPad. It'll just take me like 10 or 20 minutes. You're like, no.
I was like, yeah, I'll do this in Photoshop in 5 seconds. And then this was something that I thought was super cool that just kind of happened on accident. I was turning on all of them, and this happened. It's just like all of them layered on top of each other, and I just thought it looked really cool. I really like yours because there's like this one strong gesture because it's really dark for that like pose with the arms up in the air. And then all the other ones look like
little hands and legs coming out the side.
Yeah, it's really cool.
This is my first print that I'm putting up.
I think it looks sweet. Like I could see this on somebody's wall. In all honesty,
it's really, really fun.
Mine,
I'm quite proud.
Mine, not so much, but we wanted to show off Abby's.
Thank you.
Well, hey. Click that subscribe button if you are interested in seeing some more drawings in the future.
And comment below with other ideas of what we can do to improve our art and get to be good artists someday.
One day.
That's the goal. One day.
And this is the part where we say
goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
What gesture would you make?
Abby just flipped me off.
No, I did not. I did not. That is no.
Wow. Cool gesture, bro.